rappers and producers. I've done a video about this before, but I think it's time to double down on it. Live below your means. Nobody talks to you about what you do when you get successful. Let's talk about it today. Rappers and producers, I wish you the utmost success in everything that you do. Richie told me to come close to the camera. I'm good right there? Okay, cool. Rappers and producers, I wish you nothing but success. These videos are made to give you the tools of success. They're made to hopefully plant a seed inside your head that hopefully makes you look at something in a whole nother light that you were like, man, you said that one little thing and that just opened my whole mind up. That's what these videos are here for. One thing that I wish someone would have told me, besides, oh, you shouldn't pursue music because, man, there's so many people who are not successful. Besides trying to protect my feelings and trying to protect my emotions, trying to protect me from failure, I wish instead of trying to protect me from failure, people were more preparing me for success. Whether that's family, whether that's friends, instead of trying to prepare me for, failure, which is going to happen no matter what. How about preparing me for success? And although that is my responsibility, that's just sort of a wishful thinking process where I hope that the people around me would. Here's what today's video is really about. You should be preparing yourself for success, and preparing yourself for success for someone else may mean, oh, I need to start looking at the type of house I want. I need to start looking at the type of cars I want. That's partly it. You should be preparing yourself to live below your means. That is, if you want to be successful for a long time. That is, if you don't want to be one of these stories of somebody who becomes madly successful all over the place. They got all kind of opportunities just to find that money is gone within a year, 2 years, and now they got to live up to a reputation that they don't have. Right? So today's topic is really going back to, I was I was editing the end of my book, which y'all should be seeing that book cover really soon, but we coming, baby. We coming. This book is getting ready to come out. I was rereading it, doing my last bits of editing on it, and one section caught my mind. I was like, I wonder if I done a video about that, if it was strong enough. Today's video needs to be strong enough for that. Today's video, let me go ahead and paint a picture for you. So there was a time period in which I came back from tour and life was looking sort of crazy. I didn't know the place I was staying at. I couldn't stay there for longer than a month. I had to get out. I was already coming home from debt from the tour, right? And so I'm looking around my life and I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I haven't worked a job for 4 or 5 years because I've been pursuing music. And so I was cutting off my facial hair, I cut off my flat top. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to work somewhere. And I know In-N-Out, I ain't never seen nobody that working In-N-Out that had facial hair. So I cut my facial hair, hoping to get a job there. I'm looking online, but at the same time, I'm like, man, I've heard something about this leasing business, man. I wonder if somebody can, whatever. This information on the internet is bull. I'm starting to look and starting to job search, but then another part of me says, man, you better do something. And then at the time, one of the cars that I was using broke down. Car broke down. I was like, look, let me get on the phone with my brother, Awesome. I know he's successful in this business. Hopefully he'll share some information with me. He shared information with me, and he even invested into me as a producer, starting a leasing business, which I knew nothing about, right? So he invested, and then within a month, 2 months, I had the most beautiful financial success that I've ever experienced in my life. And I wasn't ready for it. You got to understand that at that time, not only was I in debt, but I had bad credit. I was not looking at my credit score to see it going up. I wanted to see how far it dropped down. That became another game. But when he showed me this, I got income that I never had before. I had success in an area of my life that had been so elusive that I said, oh my God, okay, now I'm getting money. Where do I put it? I know what's not wise to do. I know it's not wise to go buy a bunch of shoes and a bunch of whatever. And I did that anyways. I went and bought shoes. I went and bought, and no offense, Richie. I know you a sneakerhead and everything, Richie, but I went and bought shoes, and they was ugly shoes, Richie. They wasn't even like tight shoes. Like, I just bought shoes that was colorful that I was like, I wanted that since I was 12. And then I went and bought them shoes. Let me let you know the extent of the money that I was, because the thing about it is I ended up finding a place and it was with a friend, and the rent was really low. All I had to pay every month was just the internet. Oh, I wish I could live that again. But all I had to pay was just the internet, right? And so the amount of overhead was kind of high for the business, but it wasn't that high. I still had a bunch of money just kind of sitting there. Instead of putting it into, the bank and then putting it into different things that could yield me some kind of return, I was buying a bunch of liabilities. I bought a new phone. I was like, man, I'm tired of this old flippy phone thing I got. I want an iPhone. I want to use FaceTime, and I bought an iPhone. I went and got, I was renting a car at the time because I couldn't get a car, which is a whole nother video, but I couldn't get a car because it didn't accept PayPal as proof of income. So I couldn't use that. I didn't have enough months of income. But I would tell you, this is how bad it got. My spending got. I was spending stupidly. I had a Target next to the place that I was staying at that I walked over to. And sometimes I would literally walk inside that Target and the pure high, I would get high. I would get high as hell. No, I don't mean in a drug form. I would get high as hell. I would walk through every aisle and I would smell the items that I could buy because I knew that I could afford anything in Target. Ooh, Curtis, you was balling out, huh? Yeah, I was balling out. I was smelling everything. I was like, man, I could buy this whole rack of CDs if I wanted to. I could buy this baby carriage. I ain't even got a baby right now, and I could buy this baby carriage. I was going off. I was walking through these aisles. I was on a super high, and it dawned on me. This is how people lose their money like crazy. I remember one time I could not print out a document that was going to get me some more money, so I went and bought an entire printer for one document, one sheet of paper. It just was stupid. But nobody ever tells you what to do when you actually get the money. Everybody got a story for you when you fail. Oh man, that's going to be all right. They pat you on the back. They say, oh man, keep going, man. You try it again, man. It happens to everybody, man. Maybe this wasn't for you, but it's okay, man. Everybody got a story for that. But nobody's here to tell you anything about success. At least not the people in my life weren't ready to tell me about that because either they did not attain it or they didn't see it as something that was going to be in the future. But I'll tell you, I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad around the same time by a guy named Robert Kiyosaki. I'm sure you've heard that book 1,000,001 times like I heard it at that point. I think that you should do what I did, which was finally read that book. If you have a chance, read that book and start to understand the principles of that book because I started realizing that the reason why you have sort of this middle class that exists where, they have money and they have the things that make them look like they have money, like the cars, the houses, and all these different things, because they're spending it on things that are liabilities and not assets, right? And so I was doing that, but reading the ways of my habits in a book form that was telling me exactly this is the why I'm going to stay in this area until I learn my lesson. That helped me out tremendously. So I'm trying to be the one that helps you out tremendously because nobody was telling me that. Everybody was like, oh, look at Curtis with the shoes. Oh, look at him with the new, I don't know, whatever I had. They're like, oh, look at you balling out here. Change your life, son. But nobody said anything like, Curtis, man, you're spending entirely too much money. You should probably chill. You should probably start paying off some of that debt. So here's what I say. When you first initially start to get that money, move slowly. First and foremost, move slowly. Because if you start spending money fast, you start going and what happens is the faster you start spending money, the more emotionally you're starting to spend money. When you spend money with your emotions, when you start to say things like, man, I ain't never had such and such and such and such. Now I'm going to get that. That's when it starts to sort of double down on itself. You start to make more emotional decisions. You should ask yourself, do I really need this right now? Is there a way for me to live below my means? Do I absolutely need to do this? If it's nothing that is threatening your health, your security, or the security of those around you, then do you need to move on it? Or do you need to ensure that you'll have this security for the next few years, or that you can at least invest a portion of that into something that's going to bring you money back? Move slowly. When that money comes, move slowly. Because if you start moving emotionally, you'll find 1,000,001 things to invest into. It may even be like you got $400 in your pocket and you see a homeless dude and you're like, man, I always wanted to give a homeless guy, $100 for no reason. You'll do it. Why? Simply because you have it to do that. I'm not saying that's not the right thing to do, but look, live below your means. Don't try to keep up with the other people that you see that are balling out. Matter of fact, you shouldn't be around people who are balling out because that's going to cause you to want to ball out like them. But your bills are not their bills. Your debts are not their debts. So they're going to spend a little bit differently than you are. Move slowly. Do not spend emotionally. It's one of the best pieces of advice I can give you for when you get success, because I believe you will. When you get success, live below your means, my friends. Don't go around Target getting high off of products that you can buy. Once again, that's another Curtspiration. Doodle, you need some more of this use, please subscribe to the channel below. Be a part of the notification gang. For those of you that are leaving great questions, go to the Curtspiration suggestion box. Thank you for those who have been doing it. But those of you that have great questions you want to ask, go to CurtisKingBeats.com/Curtspiration. Don't worry about all them other people that are up there. I just ain't maintained and deleted them other comments. But I see your new suggestions and I always make videos about them. Doubling back down on the topic, live below your means. If you got any stories about when you became successful or you got maybe a huge bonus or some kind of money and you went and spent like crazy, tell people what the other side of that looks like because they need to hear it. In this life, you won't be full of life until you decide to live life to its fullest. Curtis King, CurtisKingBeats.com.
I can't listen to you. When I listen to you, it's a liability. Cause you be mentally killing my inner energy. So I'm concealing my feelings before you injure me.